I'm going to tell you a story. This is a true story. It happened to me, I want to say, let's see, it happened about 20 years ago or so. This is way back when I was traditionally monogamously married. My first marriage where I did everything wrong. Standard typical marriage where I was monogamous and we combined all our finances and we had kids and it was stressful. We fought and blah, 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 blah. One day we were at my son's final pizza party for his baseball team. So my son was very active in athletics, and one year he went out for baseball. It was a lot of fun. And if you've never had kids, the way this works is, or if you can remember back when you were a kid, if you ever did sports, at the end of the season, they rent out a room in like a pizza restaurant, and you have all the kids, and you have pizza and cake, and everyone gets fat, and they give trophies to the best kids, and so on, and you know, you go on your way. It was a fun party. So we were at this party at Round Table Pizza in Portland, Oregon. And we're sitting kind of in the middle of the room, and the coach is up there giving speeches and stuff like that, and we're eating pizza and cake, having a good time. It was me and my wife at the time, my son and my daughter. My daughter was very little at that time. My son was about, I want to say 7 years old, maybe 8. And the coach says, okay, everybody, it's time for trophies. Time to get out the trophies, woo! I'm like, woo, trophies, woo, it's great. Can't wait, all right. So he, some of you know where this is going. This is about 1999, somewhere in there, late 90s. I had no idea what was coming. So the guy pulls out this trophy. It's like this, you know, golden statue of a guy throwing a baseball, right? And he says, okay, first trophy goes to Tucker. All right, come on, Tucker. And I'm like, yay, Tucker, woo, Tucker, woo. You know, I got pizza in my mouth, Tucker. I was really a chubby back then, way more than I am now. So I'm like, all right, Tucker, woo. All right, good job, Tucker. And he gives him Tucker, and he shakes his hand and pats him on the head, and Tucker gets his trophy, yay. And he goes back to his table. And then he pulls out the next trophy. And it was strange. I looked at the trophy, and I'm like, well, that's weird. The trophy is the same trophy. That's odd. Usually first place trophies are different than second place. You know, the first place trophy is big. The second place trophy is a little smaller. Third place trophy is kind of small, but still a cool trophy, you know? And it was the same exact trophy. I'm like, well, that's, and there's just a little thought in my head, like, well, that's kind of weird. Maybe they didn't have it in the budget. Maybe they just got, you know, 3 trophies, the same kind, and it says first place on the plaque. Cool, whatever, cool. Okay, and then this trophy is for Danny. Come on down, Danny. I'm like, woo, Danny. All right, Danny, come on down, Danny. Good job, Danny. All right, woo. I wish it was my son, but all right, cool, whatever, Danny, cool. So Danny goes up, gets a trophy, right? And he leaves. So then he pulls out the third trophy, and it's the same trophy. I'm like, all right, I get it. All right, the top 3 trophies are the same trophy, whatever, cool. That's cool, no big deal. I didn't really think anything of it. And okay, this one is Ethan. Come on down, Ethan. I'm like, woo, Ethan, all right, good job, Ethan. And I'm a little pissed because my son wasn't in the top 3. He was very athletic, but like, whatever. He's more of a basketball guy than a baseball guy. So I'm like, that's cool, whatever, we're having fun, great, woo. All right, Ethan, cool. So then he pulls out another trophy. And I'm like, really? They give out 4th place trophies on this team? What a weird baseball team. 4th place? I've never heard of that. That's weird. Okay, whatever. I'm like, Johnny, come on down, John. I'm like, Johnny, okay, you're 4th place, you're a loser, great, and it's great. I'm like, you know, starting to check out. Then he pulls out another trophy. And I'm sitting, and it's the same trophy. And I'm going, what the? I have no idea what's going on. So the reason I didn't know, I should probably put this in context. My son became my son when he was 5. So I was very inexperienced in raising children. I got married because I was a young, stupid, moronic beta male who didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I got married when I was 25 years old. By the time I was 26, I had 2 kids. Stupid. But anyway, that's why I didn't understand. So I turned to my wife at the time. I kind of go, it starts to dawn on me. I turn to her and I say, why is he getting a trophy? It's 5th place? And she says, no, what do you mean? She's all confused. What do you mean? No, he's not 5th place. What are you talking about? And I went, well, why is he getting a trophy? And she says, every kid gets a trophy. I'm like, wait, what? Because yeah, every kid gets a trophy. Isn't it great? And I'm dumbfounded. I'm like, what the fuck? Every kid gets a trophy? See, today this is normal. But back then this was a radical thing. I had no idea. Why? Why does every kid get a trophy? How does that motivational for any kid? So the worst kid on the team, the sack of shit who never runs, who fucks around, gets the same trophy as a kid who tries and tries and tries and spends hours and hours and hours and hours practicing? What the fuck? What's going on? So I said, why? She said, well, that way none of the kids feel left out. What? What the fuck? So they call up more kids and everyone. Now here's the thing. As they're calling up all these moronic kids who are getting trophies for literally no reason, most of them, it wasn't just that every kid got a trophy for no reason, which destroys the entire point of trying to do well. It's that as I looked around the room, everyone was still clapping except me. I was the only guy in the room, only person in the room. All the moms like, yay, yay, Johnny, yay. All the beta male dads, yay, yay, this is great. The trophies for no reason. I'm the only guy going, what the fuck is this? This is a room full of insane parents. I don't want my kid to get a trophy if every kid gets a trophy. And sure enough, they eventually call my son. He goes up, gets his trophy, brings it back, and he's got this. It was so weird. It was almost an embarrassing feeling. He puts this trophy on the table, and it's the same fucking trophy that every other kid in the entire room has. What the fuck? Why is this cool? All right, good job. Good job. You got a trophy for doing nothing. Woo! I have heard people say that the millennial generation, and I realize it's easy to rag on millennials. I realize it's easy, but there's a reason it's easy. You should see the comments I get on my blogs from millennial guys. You should see the emails I get. I gotta read a book? You should see this shit. I can't play video games for 6 hours a day? Why not? You should see the emails I get from millennials. But whatever. It has been said that the reason the millennials are the way they are, or a contributing factor to why millennials are the way they are, is because these are the kids who are part of the every kid got a trophy when they were growing up generation. Kind of true. Now, my generation is nothing special. I'm Generation X. My generation sucks. My generation is fucking terrible. The baby boomer generation, the generation above mine, is even worse. The baby boomer generation is the worst generation in American modern history. Perhaps even in all of American history. So if you're going to respond to what I'm saying by saying, well, boomers suck too, you're correct. They suck too. Now let's get back to talking about why you guys suck. And if you are part of the millennial generation, if that was the era in which you grew up in, you have some mental baggage, you have some societal programming to overcome. You were given things, maybe, now maybe not. You might say, well, I wasn't given shit, I had a horrible childhood. Maybe you did, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying if you grew up in an environment where your mom never made you mow the lawn, your dad never made you wash the car, you got a trophy on all of your sports teams no matter how badly you did. If that's the environment you grew up in, you have some severe mental barriers in your head that are preventing you from taking action and are preventing you from performing and preventing you from doing the things necessary to get the things done in your life, specifically Alpha Male 2.0, multiple long-term non-monogamous relationships, and Alpha 2.0 income, which is location dependent through your own business. You're gonna have a lot of mental, emotional roadblocks to that if that's the generation you grew up in. And by the way, that includes my own children. I have seen my own children. My son is 28, my daughter is 22. I've seen them go through this. And for the most part, they've overcome it. My son, certainly, my daughter probably has a few more years to go. She needs to get a little older. But I've seen them go through this to reconcile the way in which they were raised, at least by their mother. Now, this is before I got divorced. So most of their childhood, I was separate from their mother and I was raising them separately. What do they call it? Co-parenting, whatever the fuck they call it now, whatever politically correct thing you're supposed to call it now. But anyway, just be aware of this. If that's you, be self-aware. Don't be defensive about this and say, well, baby boomers suck. Yes, they're terrible. My generation's terrible, and your generation is terrible, and you have to acknowledge and be self-aware and be objective about the positives and negatives of your generation. There are some positives to being a millennial. Your millennials are also very capable in many ways. Just be aware of this. The more self-aware you are about the problems that you have internally, the happier you will end up being, instead of just saying it's everyone else's fault. I always go back to that thing. I've talked about this in prior videos. I've read articles about this. Everything in my life is my fault. Everything in your life is your fault. And that's a difficult concept to swallow if you're one of these kids who got a trophy no matter what you did, because every kid on your team got a trophy. Make sense? If you need more help with this, go to www.joinsmic.com. I can help you with that there if you want. That is my mentorship and training program. Have fun. I will see you in the next video.